Hey guys, has been a pretty long time since I've made one of these lists, and honestly I think at the moment there's so many good junglers. If you master a champion, anything can be good. It's kinda hard to define where to put what. So if you think someone also deserves a spot on this list, be sure to tell me in the comments below. Let's get started. On my number 5 spot I'm going to put several champions, because I think there's a lot more that would deserve this place, but I tried to put only a few here. Now just a quick rundown of these champions. First off, Skander, who's someone who profits from the new Triforce, can be played with buffed Ghost as well if preferred, and can pick out a carry completely in a team fight. Second, Amumu can turn a game around by picking someone out or starting a perfect team fight with his ult. I also really like to play him AP heavy, which makes him a carry lord. Next, Volibear. Didn't really change much, he's still just really good, but I feel like he's getting kited by a lot of champions and also out snowballed, but definitely still very strong. Sejuani's ult stun is extremely powerful and her ganks are quite nice pre 6-2. I also like to play her full AP as well. If you crush early and end, it's amazing. Last but certainly not least, Gragas. I think Gragas has probably the most potential out of these, and he's kind of like an easier version of Lee Sin, I feel like, if that makes any sense, but he's still pretty hard to master. But if you land that ult and E-Flash, you can definitely carry some games. Okay, I don't think I've ever had so many champs on one place. Also tell me if you want a detailed guide on any of the champs on this list. Let's move over to my number 4 spot. I've put someone here who wasn't on any of this list for a longer time, I'd say, and this is gonna be Olaf. He's a niche pick against heavy CC like an Ashe, Malphite, Zyra and so on, but he can also just be affected without the enemy team having a ton of CC. You can either play him as a damage magnet to peel for your team and still do decent amount of damage, or as I like to build him, with a crusher build, but the damage magnet is more reasonable. Also he profits a lot from the ghost buff. His ganks early are not that great, but if you time it right you can just run down the laner with ghost and your ult. You still have to hit some axes though. For the build I've shown my crusher build, which consists of Cinderhulk. Sometimes I also take Red Smite, but blue is probably safer, followed by Black Cleaver, which is amazing to stick onto enemies, then Titanic Hydra, Deadmans, after that just tank stuff. You can probably also just go full tank mode, which will be more useful for your team, but I really like the crusher build. It's so much fun and you can also carry a lot. For runes I've listed attack speed 80 runes here, but you can also go with tanky runes, of course. Mastery is just standard strength of the ages. Let's move over to the twisted fate of the jungle. Well, not really, only her ult. That was a pretty bad introduction. I'm talking about Rek'Sai, of course. I think she's definitely extremely strong if you make good use of her ultimate and her tunnels. That's something you have to master before jumping into a ranked, I'd say. You can pick out people nicely with your tunnel barrage, always have vision of the enemy team. So if you walk around with your team, you're never gonna get trapped, which is really nice. Only if the enemy team is standing still in a bush, of course. That can always happen. You can also be present pretty much everywhere on the map due to your ult. But again, you have to place your tunnels right, and that doesn't mean to only build one big tunnel system from spawn into your jungle. Other than that, in teamfights she can be a damage magnet if built tanky, or a bruiser with decent damage if built with warriors. Rek'Sai is very versatile in that department. For the build I've also put in the crusher build here, because it's so much fun and I like to be in a carry role, but you just have to decide what works best and of course what works best for your team. I just really like the Cinderhulk Titanic Hydra combo. It works on so many champions and brings a lot of AoE into a team fight to spray out the backline with the crescent of the Titanic. Runes I've put my standard 80 once again, but can be replaced with something tanky, of course, and mastery is just standard strength of the ages. On my second spot we have the Spider Queen herself, Elise. The reason why she's here is similar to Rek'Sai because of her versatility. But first let's start off with the biggest early advantage, her guaranteed kill ganks. If you hit your E-stun in human form on a lane, 75% of the time the laner is dead. Even with flash, because that stun takes so damn long to wear off. But it's something you also have to master. Even if you don't hit it and just get a flash, it's still a good deal. Her clear is quick and healthy as well because of her spiderlings. She's a great fighter slash assassin slash tanky person if you build her tanky, and you can also dodge a lot of things with your E and spider form. She's just overall really good, but I definitely think her whole kit revolves around hitting your E, catching out squishies and AD carries in teamfights. For a build, I feel like Ludens and Rylai's are kinda core items. After that, I just go full tank usually. I prefer Red Smite because if you hit your stun, you don't need this slow, but again, it's probably a safer pick overall. Runes are pretty standard: AP, Mastery, Thunderlord and Oppressor. Runes are standard again, just AP and Masteries, Thunderlords and Oppressor. I've already made a guide on my number one, the carry horse himself, Hecarim. He's a snowballing monster and benefits the most of the Trinity and Ghost changes. Can turn around team fights easily with a good ult and pick out the AD carry even easier with his E. He can be a tanky engage horse that still does a lot of damage, or Assassin Speed XXX horse that picks out the squishies and then jumps out of action again. Both work amazingly well. For more detailed information on Hecarim, I'm going to link my Hecarim guide here. There I'll also tell you more about what to build and so on, but I'm still gonna show the build, runes and masteries on the screen here once again. I just wanted to mention this again, there's a lot of champions that are playable and amazing, and you shouldn't always listen to these kind of lists. When masters champions like Kha'Zix and Gragas and of course my true love Shaco are champions that can carry a lot if you master them, but the champs I put on this list are kinda like the champs you should pick when everyone would be on like a same skill level, if that makes any sense. Tell me what you think is good and who's bad right now in the comments below, and of course tell me your mains, because I'm always interested in finding these one-trick ponies. Other than that, sometimes streams in the evening at the moment. I'm not streaming that much because I want to make some videos and also concentrate a little bit more on Ranked, because I'm kind of getting into it, and if you go over that little barrier of raging at AFKs and just exploding after losing 4 games in a row because of something like that, you can really do a lot. So after that note, I hope you're having an amazing day. If you want to, you can swing by on my stream and follow. Goodbye.